What's going on, party people? SB here. Today we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Parfums de Marly that all my niche heads and collectors, they all know about this fragrance. They've come across this fragrance. But to the general public interested in niche and higher end luxury perfumes, from the house of Parfums de Marly, this would be like number 10 on your list of curiosity and interest. But it may be not, it might be something you want to check out sooner. I don't know. I'm here to evaluate it. It's been a long time since I've put my nose to this, but in the collector community, a lot of people talk very highly of this. I'll let you know where it sits in my ranking among the Parfums de Marly hits, if it is a hit. So strap up. All right. Welcome to the scent bubble. I am your host for the late evening. My eyes are droopy. My eyes are low, but I'm going to keep rolling with the show. From the house of PDM, we have Haltane. I love that color. I'm going to just keep it real with you. I love that color. Green, money green, and gold. Love that. I used to have my basketball uniforms used to look like this in high school when I used to travel. Love it. I'm going to go ahead and cue up the sprays real quick so I can let it dry down while I read you guys some house notes. Terrible atomizers as usual. Can we go on strike against atomizers from these niche brands? Can they just step it up a little bit? They already have the glass. Fix the dang atomizers. Good grief. Ooh, I like that in the air. I do like that in the air. Smells like a lot of stuff I'll make reference to in a bit, but I do like that in the air. Very nice. Masculine. It is a fragrance for men. 1743, Haltane. This is 4.36 out of 5, 4,000 votes. Definitely a mass appeal score. So why the heck aren't people talking about it enough? Why is it only collectors talking about Haltane? Well, it's because from Parfums de Marly, they got a lot of hits in terms of public appeal. You got Pegasus, you got Leighton, you got Wajan, you got Sedley, you got Castley, you got, I'm missing a big one. What is that apple pie one? I was about to say Cassius. Carlisle. I know I'm missing like one or two. They just got so many hits, guys. Let me read you a note from the brand here. Haltane is a woody aromatic fragrance for men, launched in 2021. Made exclusively for Harrods, specially made for those who expected only the finest ingredients. Haltane is revealed on the skin with layers of traditional aromatic woods, freshness, herbal top, rich accords of saffron, praline, ultra modern spin on the theme of oud wood. Okay. Well, at least they came out and said it. Yeah, it is ultra modern. Reminds me of a couple of things, though, right off the bat. I'm really curious. I'm going to kind of sneak ahead on you guys. I want to see what they said this smells like. Okay. Okay, so good news for you guys. There's going to be a lot of alternatives. Because I was going to say, this smells like a fragrance I just got in the mail this week. Okay. No wonder I liked it. Okay. So what I get is, gosh, it's going to be hard for me to not just say what it smells like. It is a very clean wood, green tart citric. It's a green tart citric. Citric tart green, hugging a clean, dry, woody profile. And then it has this kind of, not funk, but this kind of underbelly of it, of richness. And it's the same underbelly as like a oud for greatness, that smell of depth. But unlike oud for greatness, which is a dark, fresh depth, this is a bright, tart green citric depth. So it comes off more more radiant and bright than a Oud for Greatness, but has the nuts of Oud for Greatness under it. But so same vibe check as Oud for Greatness, but just imagine the top of it has completely been rearranged to be this tart citric green thing going on. Very nice. Super masculine. That Oud in there is going to penalize this fragrance because immediately with the nuts on this, it pushes it 30 and up. Maybe 25. If you're 25 and you're already making over 100K or something like that, which many people in 2026 are, you can rock this. But that Oud base, it's not super pronounced, but it's enough to put a lot of maturity under this. Really 30 and up appropriate. But before I move on, this smells like a lot of stuff, guys. But it smells like a lot of stuff I know you guys haven't smelled. So let's switch windows real quick. So it definitely doesn't smell like oud wood, though. It's a dry woody experience, but only by about 40%. The rest of the fragrance is not oud wood. Oud wood is much different than this. It's way cleaner, very much about agarwood oud and clean woods. This is about so much more, such as lavender, clary, sage, bergamot, saffron, praline, oud, and cedar. What I love here is the praline is not smelled here to me. It is kind of gluing and connecting all of this aromatic green tart freshness to the oud so that the oud is not stank. It's clean wood with depth. You know, I imagine this being like a tree trunk and you're looking at it from the top down and you're smelling the inside of this. The outside is mostly this clean, woody, fresh experience. You get the air wafting on it. But if you put your nose right there in the center on top of the stump, you're going to smell more of that richness behind it. This is not a funky oud, but the depth of it is a little bit of a nose draw. But it's mostly 60-40. 40 of this, 60 of all this. Again, the praline's not detective. I get a very saffron tart bergamot with aromatic lavender and sage lift. This is nice, guys. This is big boy baller juice. This is work approved. Man, it's not that interesting of a note combo, but okay. So let me talk to you guys real quick before I go into my rant. So this smells like several things. The number one fragrance that this smells like to me is a fragrance I just bought. And that is Nichoné's Papalifico. It's Papalifico. Papalifico is more mass appealy without oud, but the rest of the fragrance is spot on. Papalifico wears quite a bit lighter, quite a bit more mass appealy, but virtually the same fragrance in the opening. Haltane wears like Papalifico with that ballsy depth of oud. And it's light and fresh like oud for Greatness. So it's only heavy compared to Papalifico. But it makes it more mature. I think Papalifico can comfortably go down to a 20-year-old and up. This Haltane starts at 30 and goes up because of the oud base. But it smells like Papalifico to a T. I think Papalifico is definitely better. It's prettier, it's sparklier. But Haltane is good too, guys. Like, yo. It'd be redundant for me to get this. That clean, okay. I have to make mention of this. Okay, on your guys' skin, it's going to do different stuff. On my skin right now, I'm getting way more of that Tom Ford oud wood. But it's got this cedary citrus going on. So this fragrance, in fact, I'm going to spray Papalifico just for kicks on my skin to see how my skin deals with this. Because they behave way differently on skin from one another. Yeah, see, Pablo Fico is this DNA as a white champagne. It just has this kind of rosé sparkle to it, and emphasizes the citric brightness, whereas this goes into the wood, and you get a heavy cedar, and it dries down almost entirely to a agarwood and cedar combo. You really lose most of the citrus, the lavender. It virtually dries down to oud and cedar with a light saffron. I don't like the dry down of Haltane. The opening was magnificent. This is mature men. On the dry down, I'm calling 35 and up. And I mean, you really got to have your crap together as a grown man with this. You got to be your own man, your own boss, your own mind. Nobody tells you what to do. You figured out your life. This is the protector, the provider, the guy that everybody sees as the OG unk, the OG grandpa. They seek him for advice and guidance on life because he's just unapologetically him. Been there, done that. He knows what he knows. He don't have to ask for second opinion. Yeah, this wears a lot more dominantly older masculine on the dry down. And that's really a shame because I felt like it was so much more beautiful in the opening, and it kind of dried down to more of a simple, not grumpy old man, but niche grumpy old man type of scent. Formal, think of fragrances like Haltane's dry down reminds me of Orto Parisi fragrances or Nasamato fragrances, some of the more mature, off-beaten path Koyam style juices, but it's a more mass appeal style of a Koyam or Pardon type of experience. Yeah, Pablo Fico all day. What else does this smell like? This smells like... let's consult real quick here with Fragrantica. I know this will last a good amount of time, but man, the transition kind of stinks. Super long lasting, super strong sillage. Oud for greatness, oud for glory from Body Al Oud. Detour Noir, Supremacy in Oud. Equestrian, Shengoff Oud Royal, Eternal Wood. Eternal Wood's better, I think. Outcast Blue is better for sure. Outcast Blue Straight is better as well. Pablo Fico. See, guys, I don't lie to you. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it tall with you, man. You know what's better? If you want Haltane, true to Haltane, but you want a better dry down, I think you have to get Oud for Greatness, or something more in line with this would be like, what is that freaking fragrance? Oh my gosh. Oh, Tobacco Oud from Tom Ford. Tobacco Oud, yes. Tobacco Oud is way sexier of a dry down than this and smells just like it with way more bells and whistles. Oud for Greatness is just sexier than this. I mean, shoot, even Oud Wood. Now, this is sexier than Oud Wood because it's got a little bit more going for it, but Oud Wood is more mass appealing because it's more, quite simply, dry, classy woods. This has a little bit of funk on it from Oud, so it has a certain, like, almost rich, silky, velvety, earthy depth to it. I'm not mad at it, but the dry down is a letdown compared to the opening. If you like this at all, get Pablo Fico from Nichane. I think guys like Justin Copeland, if you're into his nose at all, this, I believe, is his #1 fragrance from the house of Nichane. And if not, among his top 3 easily. But I'm pretty sure it's his top 1. I love this juice, man. I would wear this to work every single day. Sprays on Haltane, 4 to 6. If you're indoors, 4. If you're going out and in, I apologize for my light dying down. Let's see if I can get some more light into my life. There we go. This is like an expensive work fragrance. Don't wear this if you work at Hollister. You know what I'm saying? If you go into an office of any kind, this is signature scent office level stuff. You'd think of this the same way you'd think about, your Grey Vetivers, and your and stuff like that. So we did the sprays, like 4 if you're only indoors, maybe even 3 only if you're indoors. I'm wearing 6 of a fragrance is signature as this if I'm going outdoors and in passing and all that stuff. Super long longevity, 8 hours plus. Seasons, anything with a breeze, but I do think this specializes in the fall category, fall and winter for sure. Again, a fragrance like this, it had so much more to offer in its opening. The dry down was quite plain, but it's still a great niche smell. It's just so many things beat this out. I would buy Oud for Greatness before this. I have Popolo Fico. I would buy Tobacco Oud. Would I buy Oud Wood over this? That would be a toss-up. You know, I'm pushing 40. So maybe I would get Haltane over Oud Wood. But Thameen's carved Oud and tobacco Oud I would get before. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think when it comes to these dry, woody, oudy, citric, aromatic scents, I really don't think you can go cheap. So like here, they said Al Harmain's Detour Noir or Detour Echo and Afnan Supremacy in Oud and Body Al Oud for Glory. Those are good scents. If your collection is small and you're just getting into clones, you will appreciate them and you will wear them, especially if you're in cold weather. If you're in moderate to hot weather most of the year, you'll buy them, like them, and never wear them. So make sure it's cold weather. But I genuinely think with this type of scent profile, it would benefit you to just outright save the coin, save about 150, 200 bucks, and just get the real thing. You know, get the Popolo Fico, get the Tobacco Oud, get the Oud Wood, get the Thameen carved Oud, get, you know what I'm saying? I think Haltane, there's just so many things that surpass it. I wouldn't buy it. But as a scent profile, the opening feels like a 9. The dry down feels like... The dry down, truthfully, is a 7 today, guys. In the niche world that I live in, it's a 7. It's average niche. The dry down is really lackluster. And I guess with that being said, we'll leave it at that. You know, I've given you guys so many alternatives for this that I do think this scent profile is incredible. I think Popolo Fico easily is an all-star of a fragrance in my collection just for what it does. So I do think you have to have something like this in your collection. But I just named to you so many alternatives that kill this to me and are just more full-bodied, have a better transition, more complexity, and still achieve this sophisticated manly vibe. Again, I think it's upscale casual is tough for this fragrance. I think it's mostly semi-formal and up, 35 and up men's. Popolo Fico, though, and Oud for Greatness and Oud Wood are all fragrances I think that you can go 25 and up, with the exception of like Tobacco Oud, which I think would be a 30 and up. But you got plenty of alternatives at every price point. Again, if you're broke as a joke, then you can get any of those Afnans or Al Haramains or Latafas. But I highly caution you from it because when it comes to Oud, it's better to pay the coin for the cleaner, more refined, more ethical products. You'll see the difference in the dry down and in the longevity and in how it bonds to the other scent profile to make it a more fuller smell. Anyways, guys, this was Parfums de Marly Haltane. I give it a 7. Think you got plenty of alternatives, but I love this scent profile. Definitely think you should get into it. And I'm starting to understand why this is further down the list and why it doesn't get a lot of love. Because I imagine only niche heads that either stumbled into this or were just always been curious about it like it, but there's so many things that kill it. So yeah, to each his own. If you're into fragrance content of any kind, I drop content all the stinking time. I'm not even going to outro properly. I'm going to recommend 2 videos on the left and right based off what you've been searching for that I think you'll be into. I do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I also have a Discord where you can come in, hang out, do meet and greets with me or hangouts, and get recommendations, talk to the community. And I just launched it yesterday, and we're already at like 40 people in it. So it's a good time, and I think you should join into it if you want more private access to me and some of the more active users in the community. I'll put that in the comment section below. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I hope you stay blessed. Peace.